Everyone wants to be rich and famous right away, but that's like wanting to have lots of money without wealth. And as you know, that's not the way to do it. Instant lottery winners go from rich to poor within the course of years, sometimes months. Happens all the time. Fast money is like fast fame. If you didn't earn it, it won't last. Here's famous actor Christopher Lee giving his most important advice to future actors, and I think it applies to a lot more than just acting.
Because that's what they want, rich. To be rich and famous immediately, which is terribly sad and extremely dangerous. The most dangerous thing that a young actor or actress can do is to believe their own publicity. Because shelf life, 10 years. If you're a star at 20 or 22 or 3 or 4, if you haven't got it, if you've got it, if you've got the right instincts, the right imagination, the right powers of invention, if you have something behind you, some sort of foundations of experience and versatility, that's fine. You will go on. You will last.
Today we're talking about fundamentals, so you don't have to be a flash in the pan. Yeah, it starts right here with your mindset when you're starting out. What's the difference between the matrix and the real? We're gonna get real today. Let's get into it. It was French philosopher Jean Baudrillard whose ideas inspired the movie The Matrix.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What Morpheus is pointing out is a key idea Baudrillard first proposed, that our world is covered in representational signs. Our modern society is made of images that represent someone or something, what he calls simulacrum. And this simulacrum is more and more disconnected from the truth, reality, the real. Baudrillard says, postmodernity is said to be a culture of fragmentary sensations, eclectic nostalgia, disposable simulacra, and promiscuous superficiality, in which the traditionally valued qualities of depth, coherence, meaning, originality, and authenticity are evacuated or dissolved amid the random swirl of empty signals. And this is more true than ever as we move forward into a world of social media, of hierarchy, of the rat race, of the continual and never-ending squid game that is professional careerism. Do as you're told, get the brass ring, conform. So this sign value is actually running everything, and we're feeling more and more dehumanized. This is what philosophers call reification, where human beings become dominated by things and become thing-like themselves. And the result is that real life begins to disappear. In startup land and in our professional lives, it comes out in a bunch of ways. What school you went to matters a lot. What your resume says about you matters a lot. It's more important to look like you're doing work than actually doing the work. When all of society is looking for the same thing, wealth, power, status, control, it starts to funnel smart people down very specific paths in their careers. Investment banker, management consultant, manager, director, VP. And yes, this feels in particular very new to me, maybe in the last 10 years. Now, startup founder is one of those power positions. This was not how it was before. That's not how it was for Woz when he started Apple Computer.
So I was not designing a computer with any idea we'd ever start a company, ever have a product, ever be successful. It was just to go down to the club and show off and to own and use.
At one point, the act of starting companies was a fringe act done by people who never started with the idea to start a business. But now that's actually becoming a commodity, something again with signal value. Yes, prestige, the purer age of startups just might be over. And a sad byproduct of signal value and the mainstream adoption of startups is that now all that gross stuff outside has penetrated what was once the inner world of nerds. Yep, it's the moment when tech went tech bro. Yeah, there's still tech, but increasingly who gets the $1 billion round is who gets to IPO. And if the beauty contest chose the wrong startup, the whole space gets tanked. It is the age of the Keynesian beauty contest now. A Keynesian beauty contest is what we call it if that which is revered is merely based on what other people say instead of a more fundamental measure. People vote based on how they think other people will vote. The result is herd behavior. That what should really happen if people voted rationally, that just doesn't happen at all. Keynes thought about this when he was reading a newspaper in the 1930s, when he saw a popular newspaper game. Newspapers at the time would publish photos of hundreds of beautiful women and ask people to mail in their opinions on who were the most beautiful. Readers who picked the most selected women would win a prize. Keynes wrote, "It is not the case of choosing those faces which, to the best of one's judgment, are really the prettiest, nor even those which average opinions genuinely thinks the prettiest. We have reached the third degree where we devote our intelligences to participating what average opinion expects the average opinion to be." This happens everywhere, and it's happening in startups too. Who gets funded and who gets blessed, not just by investors, but the workforce too. It's become exactly like this, a Keynesian beauty contest. This kind of thing seems to be opaque to most people outside of tech, but if you're a founder, you know that your startup lives or dies not just by whether you have money, but by whether you can hire talented people. And now, in an age of the $150 million post-money valuation for a Series A, which is more than 2x or 3x higher than it was even a year ago, the competition is fiercer than ever. This effect compounds. The winners get more capital, which lets them hire better people, which then lets them build a better product, and the cycle continues. So the tricky thing now is, as a result, it's more important to look the part of the prettiest startup than it has ever been in the history of building startups. But looking like the best startup and being the best startup are clearly two different things. Case in point.
This is what happens when you work to change things, and first they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
Theranos happened because looking like a successful biotech company was more important to that CEO than actually creating a blood test that worked. And the signal value of Stanford professors and luminaries like Mattis or Kissinger on her board, that took the place of real diligence and real thinking. Another case in point, here's the failing district attorney of San Francisco, Chesa Boudin.
And all of us did what we could, took action to intervene and to prevent the criminal conduct that so tragically cost 2 lives on New Year's Eve.
Listen to what he said. All of us did what we could and took action. Yet, did you spot the lie? He didn't take action. 2 people died because he didn't take action when he failed to charge a repeat criminal in an escalating pattern of crime. A politician, an ideologue no less, just has to say the right things these days. The outcomes are mattering less and less. What's happening in a society today with this kind of doublethink? Clearly, image is becoming more important to some sociopaths than the actual outcomes. Nowhere is this more true than the world of venture capital. Yes, my world, my business. This scene in Silicon Valley actually does happen.
Revenue. No revenue. I'll call you back. What? Why would you go after revenue?
Because to make money?
No. If you show revenue, people will ask how much, and it will never be enough. The company that was the 100x or the 1000xer becomes the 2x dog. But if you have no revenue, you can say you're pre-revenue. You're a potential pure play. It's not about how much you earn, it's about what you're worth. And who's worth the most? Companies that lose money.
VCs and founders both fall into this trap. The VC in this scene says looking like a successful company is far more important than doing the things to actually be successful. Fake it till you make it. But here's the thing. Faking it might get you far, but it doesn't bring you all the way. Warren Buffett says markets evaluate companies by popularity, but in the long term, they evaluate them by weighing them. What is the true worth of this company, and how much money is the business generating? This is the weighing machine, and it won't weigh a thing that is full of hot air. That's what Elizabeth Holmes found out.
Over the years, she ran into setbacks with this vision of a blood testing device she was trying to pursue. And instead of admitting those setbacks and admitting to her investors where she was with the progress, she lied, and the lies got bigger and bigger, and eventually the lies got so big relative to reality that it became a pretty massive fraud.
Businesses end up having to be real and profitable eventually. There are serious limits to being fake, and clearly it is the VC's job to find the fakes and avoid them. Trust me, we try. And the reason why? We only make money when we find the real. In a world where everyone is trying to fake it, you have to realize that signal value of looking like a good startup without the fundamentals of being a good one, now that has close to zero value. Well, that was big. Overall, all that glitters is not gold. And that lines up with what Baudrillard is saying too, that the glitter is getting in the way of truly identifying the gold. So that's the answer. Build for weight, build fundamentals, build the real, and show it in a world where all the things are showy, flashy, signal value. Real recognizes real. And that's the true path to wealth in a world awash with noise. So now you have the secret knowledge. You're free now from having to merely look successful. It's a flash in the pan. That is too short term. Zoom out and pursue that which is fundamental. Baudrillard said, once you are liberated, you're forced to ask who you are. Humans, we are creative creatures. Let's get back to creating. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Hey, if this is your first time watching this channel, thank you for being here. I'm a venture capitalist who started as a software engineer and as a designer. I grew up sometimes food insecure, the child of Chinese immigrants in the SF Bay Area. And just being here gave me tech, and tech is what's given me everything I have today. And that's why I'm here to try to help people get to the next stage wherever they are in their careers, at the beginning, at the middle, or just about to start a new reinvention. Technology is remaking all of society through engineering and code. What line of code will you write? Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon here, right now, so you can get notifications every time we post. We're going to talk about tech and what it takes to build the future every single week. I appreciate you all so much. I'll see you next week.